Hey everyone, my name is Zane Chepik. I'm the co-founder at Spectre Acquisition. Now, I've just made this doc to run through the exact step-by-step strategy that we use to generate $1.3 million within 60 days of running a cold email campaign for an Inc. 5000 company. Now, if you don't know what an Inc. 5000 company is, it's one of America's fastest growing companies. So yeah, let's jump right in. I think let's get here first to the proof in the pudding, right? So you can see this is a screenshot from their reporting to see all the deals that have been closed from our services, right? So you can take a look there. Now, to clarify, this 700K deal, the offer's out, right? So they've been approved, the offer's out, and now it just needs to finalize. So you can see all the rest that have been funded. So we're sitting at around 400, 500K in everything being funded, right? And then 700K offers out. Now, this isn't just merely opportunities or pipeline value, as a lot of other people sell it, right? This is actually deals that have gone through. They've spoken to their team, and they are signing contract and all that. So that's all sorted. You can see the screenshot from the Instantly dashboard, right? So 500,000 emails, sending about 20, 30,000 emails a day, right? They've got set up 1,300 email accounts, right? So we're sending some good volume, getting some good opportunities. Now, in terms of the process behind it, right? So obviously to set up such a high volume account, we need to be able to set up all those email accounts, right? So like I said, 1,300 email addresses, so email inboxes, right? All Google email inboxes. Now we have tried every sort of inbox under the sun, right? Private emails, Outlook, Google. Google is the best. Don't fall for the cheap private emails that can get set up really quickly and using AI. Please don't do that. This is the best solution there is. We've seen the best deliverability. So it works really well. So yeah, the other thing is the warm up period, right? So a lot of people think you can just skip it, can't skip it. 14 days is absolute minimum. If you can do 30 days, 30 days is even better, right? So 30 days is the ideal. Although if you know what you're doing, you can get away with 40 days, right? And then from there, we're not sending more than 15 emails per email account, right? So what Google has done recently is they are picking up on email accounts that are sending over 20, over 25 emails a day and then marking them as spam. So that's essentially how we keep away from that. Now, in terms of the targeting, right? So they do business funding. You need to be really specific with your targeting, right? It's the most important part of a cold email campaign is just understanding who you need to target for this to work, right? What does this offer solve for these people? And then you need to reverse engineer that and then take it from there. So essentially, we started with reaching out to just regular businesses, right, offering them funding. But that wasn't the solution, right? So the solution was actually finding lists of people that are looking for funding, have applied for funding, and then reach out to them directly. Now, it's expensive data. As you can see, it costs about $3,000 for a 30,000 lead list, right? But at the end of the day, the results speak for themselves, right? So you need to just weigh up the math behind it, see what can and what won't make sense, and then just take it from there. But you need to understand who need your services, and then from there, and make sure that these people that you're reaching out to can actually use your offer, right? And that's essentially the number one rule here. Because as you can see, if we had just continued reaching out to regular businesses, we still niched down. We still went to specific sorts of businesses and offered them business funding for their specific business, but it didn't work because you were reaching the wrong target audience. So just some food for thought. Targeting, really important. Understand your ICP, nail it down to the T, right? Then in terms of offer, right, cold email is very tricky. So you need strong guarantees, right? You need risk reversal and then authority. So the authority is something like 5,000 5-star reviews. We've been in business for 20 plus years, helped over 100 clients. Just something to say that you aren't just another cold email from some random new business, let's say, right? So something that can build your authority over words, right? Risk reversal, right? You want to include free trials if possible. If they don't have to pay upfront for your services, you have to include that. For example, for recruiting, if someone doesn't have to pay up front, if they only pay on placement of a candidate, you have to say you don't pay us a penny up front, because everyone's very skeptical of paying businesses up front for work, especially over the internet. And that's why it works well on cold traffic, is because you're telling them you don't have to pay up front. Look, you're essentially saying that you're confident in what you can do for them, right? Then guarantees, obviously, nobody has ever not liked a guarantee, right? So guarantees work really well over cold email. It's just offer basics, right? So they need to be able to say yes without feeling like they were taking a risk. Then the other piece is copywriting, right? So relevancy, keep the copy very short, 50 words, 50 to 100 words. Don't write essays, please. And then value first approach. So it depends on what you're looking for, but we obviously led this copy with, we saw you were looking for funding options. Let's get on a chat and discuss what your options. So that's also ties into relevancy, because we're reaching out to the right people. So you need to tie in the targeting with the copywriting, and then just connect the two, and it will work really well, because then everything's relevant to the person that you're reaching and it makes sense to them. If it makes sense to them, if you've ever received a cold email and you're like, what am I going to do with this? That's exactly what you don't want to do, right? So you want to make it seem like whoever's receiving it, they need what you're offering, right? Then I guess the last part is inbox management and follow-ups. So obviously try to get to the email responses as quick as possible, the positive leads. That's the most important. Then the other thing that we paired this with was outbound calling, so warm calling. So as soon as a new lead comes in, you give them a call, right? You say, hey, look, I just saw you were interested. Let's book in a time to discuss this further. And that increases conversions massively. I think there was a study done by some university, Alex Hormozy was saying, and if you call a lead within the first 60 seconds, it 4x's conversions, something like that, right? Which is crazy. You can essentially 4x your revenue just by calling leads within the first 60 seconds, right? So speed to lead is crucial. And that is pretty much the summary of it all, right? It's not complicated. You need to try to keep it as simple as possible, right? And just, yeah, relevancy is key, targeting is key. Every single piece here that I've covered is extremely important in and of itself, right? So if you mess up on one of these things, the whole campaign is in trouble, right? So yeah, just remember to keep all of this in mind when doing your campaigns. And this is how we essentially have been able to get $1.3 million within 60 days, right? So yeah, it's strategies at work. But anyway, that's all from my side. If you want to learn more about what we do at Spectra, we do paper leads, lead generation, right? So cold emails, and we run everything for you. So yeah, and it's completely pay per lead, which is a great part. So if you want to check that out, you can check out our website at www.spectraacquisition.com, and yeah, book a call, see what the story is there. Anyways, that's all from my side. Hope you have a good day. Cheers.